looking at you and seeing you fearfully and wonderfully made with all the gifts God has given you, and your passion and your perseverance and your grit and your wisdom and your creativity and your curiosity and your love and your joy. You have such a great sense of humor, and it's been such a great joy being your father. Hello, and welcome to The Growth Project. This is Dr. Milt Lowder, and if you're new to the podcast, this podcast exists as part of AMPLOS, which is now powered by Elliot Davis, to really help you be better, pursue better for the things in your life. And we hope to bring you content that is relevant, that is interesting, that encourages you to be the best for the people that matter most to you, and to be your best for the things that matter most to you. And so, in the spirit of tradition, a very special guest today, my baby girl.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're dropping you off at college tomorrow. The nest is becoming empty. This is something we did with your older brother who just graduated from Clemson, your sister who's a junior. Emerson Lowder is my guest, our youngest girl, affectionately known as Little E. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so, it's hard to believe that this is where we are in our stage of life, and the last week have just been flooded by memories of you. I don't know if that's happened to you or not. What this podcast is really about is just kind of reflecting back on some of those memories, some of those lessons along the way, some of the challenges you've experienced. What advice would you give to young parents with young daughters today who are entering middle school or high school or even before then? What are some of those dreams for the future? And I think the hard question is, hey, as parents, what did we do that went well, and what did we do that didn't go well? Our old conversation around the dinner table, what's the best thing that happened? What's the worst thing that happened? What did God teach you today? And maybe that's the way we'll frame that. I had so many memories going through my mind this week of you, and one that started out my mind was when you busted out the rap.
Oh, gosh.
In fifth grade, what were you running for? Class president?
I was running for class president.
And you put the bling on,
Yeah,
and can you rap that? Do you remember how it started?
My name is Emerson. I'm really cool. My name is Emerson. I run the school. My name is Emerson. Want to be your president. My name is Emerson, so let me represent.
Oh, it was so, I mean, you just rocked it. I remember, soccer was probably not your sport, but 3 or 4 years old at the Y, where we didn't have a goalie. And as soon as the team would cross the other line, you would run to the goal to not let the other team score. And then I think all of our 2-on-2 matchups over the years.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So what stood out to you? It was Jay and McKee against you and me.
Well, it helps when you have the all-time referee on your side. Just wiffle ball. I loved wiffle ball. I feel like I never could hang with McKee or Jay. But
oh yeah,
I'd give them a run for their money sometimes. Basketball games, those are always fun. I think wiffle ball is my favorite though.
Yeah, we had some
football was fun. I feel like you going against McKee is always a challenge.
Oh, you and McKee.
You could get some anger out on the
Well, I call McKee Terry
field.
Tate, but you and McKee would rock each other's world. I can still Amari Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Number
Artavis
3.
Scott.
Artavis. Did it start with Artavis or Vic? Vic. And then Artavis.
Then Amari.
And then Amari. The number 3 jersey, Willie Corn. May have started even with Willie Corn way back when he was quarterback for Jay. What are some of the memories that stood out to you?
I think those are all big ones. Growing up going to all those Clemson things, I feel like that was a highlight of our childhood. Learning to ski the first time.
I remember that was one that stood out to me is we went on the bunny slope like once out in Beaver Creek.
Out.
And then you just went around the curve and just were going over them and never hit the brakes.
That was always so fun. I think Luis.
So Luis, each one of our children have mentioned Luis. What is Luis for our listeners?
Luis would be, when we were younger, all of us had a different name. I was the little crab, and we all had our blankets, and Dad would be Luis, and he'd chase us around, and he'd try to go for our blankets. McKee was Maria?
Maria.
What was Jay?
Jay was Sebastian.
And
so it was born out of The Little Mermaid for the scene where the chef chases around Sebastian the crab. And I don't know, we played that game every night.
Oh, yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite memories. And I think that's what sometimes parents I would say, putting so much pressure on creating the perfect experience, having the perfect opportunity, that it has to be scheduled, structured, extravagant, over the top. And I think one of the things you all three have mentioned on this podcast is Luis. Mm-hmm. And there were no rules. Mm-mm. I don't know how the game ever ended, except maybe you guys had to go to bed.
Probably.
Yeah. Back at the Clemson, what was one of your favorite memories in Clemson?
I mean, there are amazing experiences. I think going on the field, I remember being in that room watching Hunter and Pro.
Oh, that was special.
I mean, that's a highlight. And I remember being so excited to find you on the field after running out there with Jay McKee. I think, honestly, just being Jay McKee, too, those whole experiences.
I remember you always wanted to be Maria Taylor.
Oh, yeah. Meeting her was a highlight.
Yeah, that was in so Phoenix. Cool. Mm-hmm. And I remember she sent you a video, and she said, "Hey, Emerson, this is Maria. You know, I hope," you were like 9 or 10. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, "Hey, you don't have to worry about being me. You just got to be you. You got to be little E." Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really neat moment. Mm-hmm. Kelly Bryant, Trevor Lawrence debate. You would get so mad at your guys at Augusta Circle because they wanted Trevor. And my man
Kelly B.
KB was one of the nicest young men I've ever had towards me at Clemson football. Mm-hmm. And you, if there's one thing, you're loyal. And you would come home from school, I don't know what grade you were in, 3rd, 4th. You were so mad at the guys in your school because they wanted Trevor Lawrence to start.
They also thought that we didn't know anything. Oh, yeah. That would make me so mad.
As girls?
I was like, I loved football, and no one thought you could hang with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you were my sports girl. The Fighting Flamingos.
I was going to say that.
What is the Fighting Flamingos for our team?
That's been our church ball team since I was in kindergarten. I think all those special memories, having you as a coach is hard at times. I feel like I'd be the one to fight back the most. It was frustrating at moments because you were the hardest on me, but you always pushed me, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I don't think I would have nearly enjoyed it as much if you weren't our coach.
Well, one of the best texts I received from you, I still got it, was we had the championship game this year, and I had to fly to, I drove to Atlanta that night.
Drove all night.
And then I got this wonderful text from you about what that experience and what those moments, and, you know, my life is changing so much, but this will be, I coached 34 church basketball teams, and I'm retired from the coaching. So a glimpse into that. We'll come back to this, but as your coach, you said it was hard. What was hard about me as a coach?
Well, I feel like I'd finish a game and you'd always be on me. Like, our whole team would do something wrong. And I feel like I'd get a little bit of that, which I understand.
No, how did we finish each game? What did we talk about?
What was your biggest takeaway?
What'd you learn?
Yeah.
What
did you learn? And I learned a lot. I mean, I loved it. I wouldn't have it any other way. But being the coach's daughter, I felt like sometimes I'd get a little bit more of the intensity.
Well, that is
than others.
I've never been accused of not having intensity. We probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but one memory I was thinking about when I
know exactly what you're gonna say.
Yeah, when I got the double technical and ejected from the gym because it was basketball season for you because you just had bruised knees, your legs. You would get on the floor, scrappy. Your mom loves telling the story when you were 5. And you were playing at First Pres, and this little boy was kind of coming through and bossing everybody around and telling everybody what to do. And he's standing, and you just took the ball from him, and he started bawling, crying. But that specific game, we were just getting beat up, and my tone of voice was probably not great with the referees. And you went for a layup and just got killed.
And I got laid out.
Oh yeah, and I'm yelling at the young ref, and he gave me a technical. And he said, one more word out of you. And I look over and you're back playing defense and you have blood.
Oh, yeah.
Pouring down your
blood
knees.
Is dripping down.
And I'm like, can I go check on my daughter? And I'm sure I didn't say it that nice. And next thing you know, I'm out the game, walk of shame.
I remember seeing you in the corner walking. Our whole team was dying laughing because there's a small window. And he's just walking by and all of us are like, oh, there's a coach.
Oh, man. Interesting times. Those were fun. What else? Anything else sticks out to you memories-wise?
Birthday breakfast, I would say, is a special one.
Yeah, that's been a highlight as well. So again, back to keeping it simple. And what I love about you, Jay and McKee were Ham House forever.
I was the different one.
And from the moment you could talk, you wanted to do your own thing. You would do what?
Waffle House.
Waffle House. And so the importance of birthday breakfast. And this is, if there's one thing that I think, Luis was one thing I think I've done well, the birthday breakfast has been the highlights of my year. Talk to our listeners about that.
There's something special, like just waking up on your birthday. I knew that was the time I got with you. Like, it was one day, like, carved out intentionally where we had a breakfast. Now, whenever you pull his iPad out, we'd go reflect on the past, and I love setting goals with you for the future. I felt like you did a good job of highlighting, like, okay, this is what you learned this year. This is how you grew this year. And then you really pushed me. How can this year you grow into more of the person like God created you to be? And I think, yeah, it made you feel special, like getting that time. Because there never was a doubt on your birthday if I woke up and I was like, am I going to birthday breakfast? It was like, okay, wake up. First thing I'm doing is birthday breakfast.
Well, as long as I'm alive, and it may have to be the day before or day after and I got breath, I'll be there for a birthday breakfast. So third child, you know, May 30th, 2008, you got Jay that's, 4 or 5 years older, I guess. McKee, what was it like being the third? Because I was the third child forever. I was the baby forever until Jim came along 10 years later. What how would you describe that?
It's an interesting dynamic being the third. I felt like Jay and McKee was always the tomboy, like, she'll go hard. So she and Jay would, like, do their too perfect. And, like, the only thing I wanted to do was play, like, Barbies or play with my dolls. So a little bit was like, I remember McKee, this is typical McKee. She'd make me bribe her if she'd want to do it. She'd be like, Emerson, you have to do this if you want me to come play Barbies with you. But, I mean, I love being the third. Especially the past 2 years. So the past 2 years
you've been at home by yourself. What has that been like?
It's been an adjustment. It was hard at first because you go from having a full house. I think each year it got harder, like starting with like Jay going to college. He was the only boy, and that was hard because it changed everything. But McKee was my sister, and like she's who I was closest with. So that was harder for me than Jay, I think. But then going from it being just me, I mean, the first couple months were challenging, but I started to love it, and, like, that's why I think it's going to be so hard to leave is, I mean, there's some quiet and peace at home, being able to watch TV when I wanted.
Oh, yeah, you've kind of got your routine down.
I think just getting special time with you and Mom over the past 2 years has been really helpful, and, like, I think all of our relationships together have grown, and so, I mean, I wouldn't change the past 2 years for anything.
Yeah, you've really grown the last 2 years. And so if you think back, those are great memories. They just go through my mind. Your determination, you get accused of being as much like me. Well, there's some good in that. There's some bad in that. There's some passion and fire. But you think about, okay, what were some of the early lessons you learned, some of the contributors to your growth? Who were some of those contributors to your growth?
I feel like the lesson that is fundamental to our family is Lowders never quit. And I think you really taught me that, and you pushed me that from a young age. I feel like I didn't do a good job in our early games. I'd be the first one to quit in football or in wiffle ball.
If it did not go your way, early tennis matches were a struggle.
They are brutal. Because he hit spin shots trying to beat me, and I was in 8 trying to just...
Well, I either had a left-handed forehand or a slice backhand. And
it made me so mad.
Well, the goal was to win.
Yeah, I wanted to win. I didn't want you to win.
But part of my job as a dad is to make sure that you, my children, can do difficult things, that you can do tough things. And so part of that is, we talk so much about self-esteem versus self-efficacy, and self-esteem is important, but it doesn't really matter in the long run. And furthermore, it's not biblical. It's self-efficacy means I believe I have what it takes. And so when those moments, I mean, I look back at your running, I look back at your sports. Early on, it was about winning for you, and you would get so mad.
I can still remember.
So Lowders never quit means what?
It means never give up. Like, you told me that I was stronger than I think I could. Stronger than I thought I was. And, like, I'd be someone who it is easy for me to want to give up. But, I mean, even in cross-country meets, you were the person I remember one race I was really struggling, and I looked at you, and I just started bawling, crying, because I knew, like, I didn't want to give up, but my body had reached its limit. But I think just knowing that, like, trusting in myself, believing in myself, and pushing myself to do hard things.
Yeah, I think cross country was so much fun to watch. We had never been a cross country family until you and McKee ran the first time. But I remember both of your first races, your first year, you both PR'd every race. Mm-hmm. And then your last race at state championship was an epitome of your perseverance and your grit. You were hurt. Mm-hmm. You couldn't go. You thought I was going to DQ you because I tried to run with you on the course for a brief moment. But I think that Lowder's never quit doesn't mean, hey, you're going to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. It means you got to be proud of how you compete. Mm-hmm. What about other early memories or contributors to your growth, or who kind of helped shape you?
I think you and Mom have really helped. I mean, y'all have been great parents. I'm not just saying that, but I mean, you've taught me what hard work and determination looks like. You've taught me what it means to, like, chase after your dreams, especially with Milt Pine, like, to set no limits. I think the lesson I've learned from you is, like, to set no limits on what God can do through you, for you. Okay, so where does that come from? Ephesians 3:20. Which says what? Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than you can ask or imagine, according to the power of Jesus Christ that worketh in you. And then 4:1 is you have to prove yourself worthy of the calling you received. You have that next to your Bible. That a girl, yeah. And so beside that, I have no limits, no regrets, and I love. So what does that mean to you, not setting limits? It means, like, me trusting in the Lord, knowing that, like, He's going to do what He wants with my life. And for me, I think it goes back to, like, surrendering to Him and letting Him work, because there's things I want to do in my life, but to not set any, like, limits on what He can do, like, to let my life, like, let Him work through me for His glory. This is going to be a tough question. So how do we tend to set limits on ourselves? To me, I have expectations. Yeah. And I think those expectations lead to limits, like, oh, I can only do this. I think a lot of it was, like, growing up, comparing myself to Jay and McKee. I needed to be just like them is what I always thought as the youngest. So I think I put a limit on myself, trying so hard to be like them. Yeah, instead of being who you were created to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's beautiful about 3 children, same genetics, same family with different gifts. Because me, Jay McKee, could not be more different. I feel like his gifts. No, but I think those expectations, and then how we think about ourselves, and even how we think about God. Mm-hmm. Okay, so who else would you say, as you look back on your life, I'll give Mom a shout out. Yeah. I feel like Mom's been an amazing role model as just the woman of the house. She's taught me, I think she's really helped my faith grow, and I've learned so much about God through her. And I mean, I hope to be the mother that she's been to me, Jay and McKee. She's been very selfless with her time, with her talents. Like, she stewarded the gifts she's been given in well. And I think she's just been an amazing role model. I think Gamma has been another amazing role model for me. She's always been there for me through it all. And she's also someone who I've learned a lot about my faith through the way she lives. I feel like she's one of the most faithful people that I know. I think Jin is another one. She's always been there for me, and she's someone who I've learned what hard work and dedication looks like. I think also coming from you too. I mean, she chased her dreams, and I mean, look what she's done now. Yeah, with her life. Still working. Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, still working, which is amazing to me. And then I think McKee. I feel like that's an obvious one. I think your sister. Yep, she's my role model. She's my best friend. I mean, I've learned a lot about life through her. I think she's the one who's taught me a lot. What about teachers, coaches? I think it's also been neat to watch the little community at Bar that you and McKee have been around, and how those ladies have modeled for you and poured into you and invested in you. That's been neat to watch as a dad. And the people you babysit for, what wonderful families have cared so much and poured so much
into y'all. And I think that's such a blessing. As a father, you just pray that other people will come into your children's life and be not only examples, but encouragers.
Oh, yeah. The Barringtons are a huge one. The Martins, the Chestnuts, the Jaguars. I mean, all those families have poured so much into the lives of me and McKee.
So the Jaguars, let's talk a little bit about Roe.
Mm-hmm.
So tell them about Roe.
So Roe is a little boy I babysit for who is blind, and babysat him. He's the first family I really babysat for. And I babysat him starting in 8th grade, and I've kept him now since I'm leaving for college.
And how old was he when you started keeping him?
Ooh, 4 maybe? I think 4. I remember I went over there with McKee because McKee was the first one. A lot of times it was McKee would be the first one, and then I'd sneak in. And I remember going over to their house, and McKee was pushing him in the swing, and that was the first time I really got to know him. And, I mean, he's been a huge blessing in my life. He's amazing.
Yeah, I think what I loved, what's so been great about my career, when you think you're helping other people, they're really helping you.
Oh, yeah.
And you think you're looking out for Roe, but what he's taught you and what you've learned through him has been such a blessing in your life and a joy to watch as a dad. So what are some of the challenges that you faced?
I feel like a lot of the challenges I've faced come from the pressure I placed on myself.
Pressure of what?
To be perfect. Like we talked about, I give my all in everything I do, but I feel like that comes at a cost with some things. Just with school, with sports, like I give it my all, but I feel like sometimes it takes away the joy when I put so much pressure to perform a certain way. Yeah,
I loved watching you work. I mean, from a young age, you were committed. Whatever you did it with all your heart. But there was some it paid off in terms of you never made a B. Your AP exams were awesome. But how are you trying to balance some of those expectations as you go into college?
I think for this next chapter, like, I really want to find more joy and really work on enjoying, like, the little things and letting myself get involved in other things and not letting myself be dominated, like, by the idea that I need to be perfect in my grades, that I need to... I mean, having all A's is great, but I feel like that consumes so much, like, studying with things. So I want to, like, really care more about those relationships in my life, especially, like, making new friends, because I think it's always what people say, like, and all those things. It's like, what do you look back on and what's the most important thing? And it's like, those relationships are the things that will really fill you too. So I think getting more involved, finding those friendships, and just really finding more joy in, like, taking the pressure off, because I love to read. I love to do things like that.
You love to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love to run, but it's like, at what point, what cost does that come at when I start to put the pressure on? So helping just take the pressure off. And Dad's motto for me was good is good enough. So I think that's...
I said sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, all you got to do is be the best you can be. And hopefully that's good enough to accomplish your dreams and pursue your goals. So have you faced some of those perfectionist tendencies and the stress that comes from that? What have you leaned on, or who have you leaned on to try to help you deal with some of that and find more joy and find more peace?
I mean, I think really I leaned on God. I mean, I leaned on people in my life, but I mean, He's the one who got me through the hardships, and He's the one who's helped me through it all. I mean, but in my life, I'd say you've helped me a lot. You give me a lot of perspective.
You just love that. You love that advice.
No, I don't. If I don't want it, I don't want to hear it. But I mean, when I need it, I think you're a very wise person who you and Mom I both can come to, and y'all tell it to me straight, which sometimes is frustrating. But I mean, y'all have really, especially this year, I think like what you've said has started to stick with me. And so I think a lot of the times, like, I can hear myself like good is good enough, or like a lot of your common sayings. I think McKee's been a person to help me take the pressure off. She's really tried to teach me that.
Your brother does a pretty good job.
Jay's good at it. And I think he's helped me too, because I see like the joy that he has, and he lives pretty pretty free. Like, he doesn't have much stress he lives with.
He hides it well.
Oh, yeah, he hides it well. And so I think seeing how he hides it well and seeing how he lives with a fullness of life has been inspiring to me.
What about, so what are some verses or things you lean on when times are tough? One of the things you wrote I thought was great in your sophomore year. You won the award, I believe, the Holistic Guide to Anxiety, Mind, Body, Spirit. So what are some of the things you learned that helped you that may help our parents help their children as well?
I think the biggest thing that helps me with anxiety is perspective. I think bringing myself back to like, okay, who am I? What can I control? What can I control? What is this, like, how is this word going to play in the grand scheme of things? I feel like you always talked about perspective. And so I think I get that perspective, I think, a lot from God, knowing like, okay, like, there's a reason he's placing this in my life. And like the worry of today, like it says, do not be anxious about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough troubles of its own. Like, today is what the Lord has given you. And so I think leaning on that verse has really helped me, knowing that like, okay, tomorrow's going to come with new troubles, but today, like, the Lord has given me what he thinks what I can get through today.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when I'm like stressed about a test, I think reminding myself, like, the perspective would be like, it's not the end of the world. What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
I think you've helped me see that, like, going through, like, okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Is that actually true or not? A lot of cognitive therapy there.
Yeah, so I'm laughing because I'm remembering the story that you said you were going to call your parents and tell them you failed a test.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened there?
Well, all my friends are talking. They're like, oh, my parents said I can't fail this. My parents, like, can't do this. And whenever I get a bad grade, I would be like, oh, my parents would be so happy. They're going to say, oh, you've taken the pressure off. Not saying that, like, y'all are happy when I fail, but saying, like,
failure, like if success is pursuing a worthy goal, what's failure?
Not pursuing it.
Yeah. And so have your mother and I ever been upset at when you gave your best effort and didn't live up to your expectations?
No.
Yeah. And so I think that's the piece. Didn't you call us one time or whatever when we
had a bet in 9th grade, my bio honors class. I remember I was like, ooh, Dad, if I fail this, if I got below like a 70 or something, could I get like a pair of shoes? And you were like, yeah or no. And I think I got like an 80 and I was like, dang it.
So you talk about some, stress and challenges you had to overcome. You're still, you just turned 18,
Mm-hmm.
but thinking about, I know middle school was hard,
Mm-hmm.
high school was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
What encouragement would you give to parents of young girls with some of the challenges and pressures they're facing? What are some of those challenges and pressures young girls are facing, and what advice or encouragement would you give to young girls or their parents?
I think the challenge is, I think everyone's trying to be loved, especially in middle school. You go from elementary school where it seems like you have all these great friends and, everything just feels lighthearted. And you go to middle school and I think the pressure to fit in, the pressure to like fit the standards of the world, the pressure to just find friends and really have it figured out hits you hard. And I think it's a time of uncertainty for a lot of girls. I think the biggest advice for parents during that time is just to be there for your daughters, to check on them, because that your daughter needs someone to care for her. And I think just a parent checking in always, like when you and mom would do that for me, that always meant a lot. And like being able to know that I could come to y'all and open up when I was having a hard time, because I knew that y'all are always there. But sometimes you don't want to go to anyone else. So I think, the moments when you and mom would talk to me, I think that mattered most, and that's what helped me, because it's an isolating time.
And I think it's so hard for parents to understand what you're going through.
Oh, yeah.
And the lies that are percolating through your mind about whether you're pretty enough, whether you're attractive enough, whether you're loved enough, whether you fit in.
Mm-hmm. And I think as a child, you forget your parents went through that too.
Yeah.
And
so do they.
Yeah.
They forget what it felt like.
So, honestly, whenever you and mom would relate to me, I feel like that meant a lot. It's like, okay, I don't feel like I'm the only one going through this, because it does feel that way.
Yeah.
But when you look back, like so many people were like, oh yeah, middle school was awful. But I'm like, to me, it just felt like I was the only one struggling.
Yeah.
I think that's a common theme, is especially as girls, you think you're the only one struggling, but that's not true at all. So I think like parents shedding light on that is something that can be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that is so difficult when you feel like something's wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
When we think through the lens, I got JH in the back of my mind right now. I think we need to talk about that experience. That was probably one of the highlights that week with you out there. And so JH Ranch is a camp based out of Birmingham, but in Northern California. You've been there 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. But we kicked it off with a sweet week. It was a father-daughter week. And what's in my mind was the trust walk.
God.
And so I don't want to spoil it, anybody who may be taking their child there, but you know, you've got directions and there's different stages to where you're blindfolded. Mm-hmm. And the first set of steps, you know, I got my hand on you and I'm telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. The second step is I'm just telling you. Mm-hmm. And the third step, I don't say a word. Mm-hmm. And the directions were at the beginning were, you can ask me anything. Mm-hmm. I'll never leave you or forsake you. Mm-hmm. Only listen to my voice. Mm-hmm. And there were 1 or 2 other ones. And it really represents the stages of us as a parent.
Yeah.
That, you know, early on we were caretakers, and then we become a cop, and then we become a coach, and then we become a consultant. And I think what hit me so hard is, you know, the person hands you a stick, and you just carried the stick. You know, you just sat there. You know, you could ask me. I couldn't tell you anything.
No.
And you just got the stick, and you just sat there. I mean, for like 10 minutes.
I felt so bad after.
And I'm standing right here. And I'm like, Emerson, just ask me about the stick. And I think the hardest part for me as a dad, one, that represented to me, you needed me more than I thought. Because I always see you as so strong and independent. And the other piece, what you just mentioned, is the hardest thing for me as a dad is to watch you or Jay or McKee or Caroline or anybody that I love be in pain, and you can't take away the pain. And I think that stood out to me as one, you needed me, and two, is like I'm right here, but I can't say anything. And so when you think about, we can talk about that experience overall, but when you think about like the role that you're walking into right now at Clemson, where I'm not seeing you every day or when I'm in town, how do we break through that?
I think that's hard. And I think for me, just to know that like you're still there and to do a better job of reaching out to you, not just when I need you, but each week. Because it's going to be hard not having you and Mom there. But now you're going to make me cry. But like I know you're always there. I mean, I've never doubted that. But especially going into college, just kind of the same lessons through middle school. That, like, you're going to be there for me through it all. That you, like, y'all are relatable. Like, y'all went through this college season, the season I'm about to go through. Y'all went through all the uncertainties that I've gone through. So it's, like, leaning on y'all more. And not just asking for help when I need it, but, like, for asking for help.
But I think going back to what you said about middle school and high school, sometimes if I don't ask the questions, or I don't understand, or you don't have the confidence or freedom to come tell me anything, then it's a two-way street that you're there in pain and I'm right here, but without knowing. So now, you know, tough questions, expose us a little bit. We'll talk about us as parents. Okay. You know, some of my favorite conversations around the dinner table is, hey, what's the best thing that happened? What's the worst thing to happen? What did God teach you today? So if you think about being parented by Milt and Caroline Lowder, what were the good things? What were some of the good things that you think we did well?
I mean, y'all are great parents. Y'all did a great job of teaching us what's really important in life. I think y'all really did a great job of modeling what it looks like to live with the faith daily, and I think that's something important that me, Jay, and McKee have all learned from y'all. Y'all were really present really present, like, in our childhood, like, growing up, like, there was no doubt that y'all are going to be there. And, I mean, you were busy working. And, I mean, Mom had a lot going on. But I just see, like, I see Mom reading books with me. Like, she was always there. I see you playing Luis. And, like, you had fun with us. And, I mean, you're always there to talk to, even.
I wasn't always there.
Well, you're always there, like, to talk. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, at night, you weren't there in the day.
But I was busy.
Especially as a child, though.
Yeah.
As a child, though, like, when I came home, like, I don't remember you being working. Like, I remember Luis.
Yeah.
And, like, as I've gotten older, I've seen different sides. But, I mean, growing up, when I see you coming home, I see you playing Luis. I see you playing with us.
And taking y'all to school was one of the greatest joys of my life.
Like, I see those moments.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah. I mean, y'all did great with us. I mean.
So now maybe the easier question for you, where did we fail? Where could we have done better? What were some of the things you wish we did better?
I mean, that's a hard question. I think for you sometimes not be so distracted. I think it's easy to be distracted, especially like on your iPad or work. And it's like, I know, like, childhood you're always there. In middle school and high school, I've known you're always there. But, I mean, sometimes I think, like, I haven't approached you because I think you're distracted. And that's also been on me, too. But I think...
Well, I think that's the part that I knew was coming as a dad, but that was really hard, and I don't think we've kind of mastered it. When you were in elementary school and middle school, that was easy for me as a dad, to be fun, to be present, to be engaged. And as you started maturing and having different interests and different opportunities, it was harder to connect. To where, but that perspective of, you're doing your own thing, you're busy, you're this, your perspective, I'm doing my own thing, that I don't think we stayed as engaged. The coffees, the conversation, some of those things, I think that's a part that I didn't do a good enough job in those moments.
But I also didn't either.
Oh. Okay, what else could we have done better?
I think I could have help me take some pressure off. I mean, I think I did a good job of that, but I still felt pressure from y'all.
To do what?
To prove myself, I think.
So I think with, that wasn't coming from us to prove yourself to anything, but how did you feel that?
Y'all have a certain intensity, I'd say, with yes, we give our all in everything we do, but I think sometimes I got that confused with it needed to look a certain way. And especially in sports, I didn't want to let y'all down, or I didn't want to let you down in sports, Mom, other things. I didn't want to let her down. And so I think I felt some pressure there.
So even go ahead. No, to always what?
I mean, just to always perform a certain way. Because, I mean, y'all are strict parents, which is a good thing, but it's just sometimes the strictness makes me feel more reserved from y'all.
But even though, what do you think we really cared about when you were in school or in sports?
I mean, y'all cared about, giving my all, but I think sometimes...
An attitude. An effort, yeah. But you felt it was maybe, how could we have communicated better? That's what was really important, because we never got mad at your performance. What triggered me was your attitude and your effort.
And that's what I would take as my performance, because when I had the worst attitude, and worst was when I did the worst.
Yeah.
And
so you equated me getting on you about the attitude and effort as your performance.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like Mom didn't really care about that. I think one thing I wish Mom was sometimes more approachable. Because I always talk to her about everything, but I think that would have been more helpful, because she's very mature in her emotions, and I think sometimes she forgets what it's like to be a high school or middle school girl going through some of these struggles. So I think that's my biggest thing for her, and for you is just distractions and intensity.
So you said we're strict. So let's like strict on what?
Y'all are strict in how we lived, which I'm not saying there's anything bad, but y'all are pretty strict. We had screen time all growing up. I'd say y'all are very discipline heavy.
Okay, but strict on things that we thought that mattered.
Which is great, but like I'd say my friends think y'all are like the most strict, which is a good thing, but y'all are also like both very intense. Like the intense and strict can be like kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
With what people see.
Okay. Well, thanks for the feedback. So we're thinking about. You're going to college. It's hard for me I can't even think about it tomorrow.
That's crazy.
But when you hear the statement, college or high school is the best time of your life, what do you think about? What do you think that means?
Well, now that I've heard you say it so much, like I always think of what you say.
Which is what?
Which is when he says like, if college or high school is the best time of your life, then how sad is that your past was your best?
Yeah.
Like what keeps.
But what does that mean to you as you enter it?
To me, I really hope high school wasn't my best.
Yeah.
Because if it was, then that would be really sad. High school was good, but I think it
was hard.
It was hard. Yeah, it was really hard. And I think there's a reason that this is the season I'm moving into. And I think just continuing to not place that pressure in college, because yes, college is a great time, but think of how many great things there are after college.
Yeah, and so I think going into it is, I hope it's the best time of your life yet.
Yeah.
And I think the word is yet.
Yeah.
We put so much. You talk about pressure and expectations that you have to be a certain way, that it needs to be a certain way. And college was a really difficult time in my life. It shaped who I am. But I pray, your mother and I pray, like this is the best time of your life yet. And so I think that's what's important to me. So when you think about your goals for college, what do you?
I think kind of going off like having fun, letting myself find more joy, and like really get involved. I want to be like be a part of things, like be a part of something greater than myself, like what we talked about. To really get involved in like Clemson community, get involved in ministry, get involved in different churches. Really want to find new friendships. I think that's a big one for me, is to go in and just meet new people, be open. I want to push myself too, to like do hard things, to succeed, and like to give it my all. But I really want this to be a time of just enjoying like where I'm at, because this is the only 4 years I have left. Like really, it's just crazy to think about. I had high school, but college is only a period of 4 years of my life. And so I really want to make the most of it, because I was already thinking about that. I was like, oh, freshman year, like that's crazy, but it will go fast. And I only have 3 more years of college after that. So I think it's like living each day intentionally.
Would you say tomorrow has enough worry of its own?
That's true. Yeah. There we go.
So here we go. Emerson Lowder.
Oh my gosh.
100-day bucket list.
I want to go to college.
Number one, 100-day before I am 100 years old. This is kindergarten or first grade. Yes. This is what I want to go to college. I want to have your spelling was not too great. I want to go to college. I want to have children. I want to go to Sea Island. I want to work for Vestique. I want to get married. I want to read 100 books. I'm going to go to the mountains, Australia. I want to have a lake house. I want to live in Charleston and have a husband.
I want to have a car.
So we got a lot of things still left to do.
We got a lot to do.
If you think about some of those dreams that you have right now, what are some of those dreams?
Some of those stay the same. I want to go to New York or a big city after college, I think, and really have like a year before I settle down. A big dream of mine is to have a family of my own. I think seeing our own family, seeing the babysitting families, like I'd love that. So I feel like that's a big dream. I don't really know what I want to do with my career yet. So I think that's hard to.
You are supposed to.
I know, but it's just.
You have so many opportunities, but when you have opportunity and you have so many interests.
Yeah, I want to run a marathon. I want to do a half this year again, but I want to do a marathon when I finish college. I want to travel more. I'd love to go to Europe. I think that would be really fun. There's a lot. There's a lot of like different things I want to do.
Okay, so what questions do you have for me as we start wrapping up here? I really don't want this to finish because it just means so much. But do you have any questions for me?
I mean, what was the hardest thing about raising me, Jay, and McKee? And what was the biggest lesson you learned from all of us?
I think I love the creativity and challenge of trying to parent. I think the busyness of my life and the pace with which I live my life, trying to be present for you and Jay and McKee, for your mother, to try to do and build a practice and the work and the opportunities that I had in front of me to try to find that balance between loving you and supporting you and encouraging you, but also being disciplined with you. I think, again, when you're struggling and hurting and in pain, not quite knowing how to take away the pain, not quite knowing how to, I'm really good at being present in people's pain. And sometimes as a dad, and there's so much pressure to take away the pain that you sometimes try to find solutions.
That'd be another thing that I'd say.
Yeah, and tell you what to do instead of just letting you be. I think that's the hardest part. That you don't get your priorities out of whack. That trying to provide for you financially was coming at a great cost. My triggers around negativity and no effort.
Don't think I did a good job of this.
And disrespect. I still haven't kind of mastered those with my patients. And so I think that was the hardest part is disciplining you guys without the emotion. And so I probably did a poor job of modeling, here's how you respond. I'm not very aware of my tone of voice, as your mother likes to point out to me often.
It's just your intensity.
Yeah, and so passion is a euphemism.
Passion. We use that one a lot.
Yeah, passion's a euphemism for intensity. We'll stick with passion. What else?
I mean, how can I be there for you the next 4 years? I mean, you're going empty nest.
I think you've already had a lot of ideas and shared your encouragement for your mother and I. I think this is a time for you to go be you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still your daughter, and it's going to look differently. But
I know, so you can check in on us and make sure that I'm honoring God, I'm honoring your mother, that we reconnect in a meaningful way. That for 23 years. This has been our life and is the greatest blessing of our life. And so, yeah, you can just pray that we reconnect as husband and wife and have our priorities in order there. The role you want for us to play in your life these next 4 years.
I think it goes back to just the coach being there for me, push me. All I hear is just be there for me through it all, and I want y'all to push me to continue to grow and to continue to grow into the person who God's created me to be, and just show yourselves that y'all are always there for me.
We will never leave you. We will never forsake you. We're always there for you. So we got 2 songs, right? So tell me what they mean to you. I've picked out songs for each of you. You had 2. She Thinks We're Just Fishing. What does that mean to you?
I mean, growing up, it was ooh, this is just a fun song with Dad. And I feel like I didn't think much of it. But as I've grown up and listening to the words, which makes me sad, but it's that time together is so much more. Waffle House Louise. wiffle ball, all that's so much more than just doing that. It's about the time that I have with you and how meaningful it is and how fast it goes. And then...
Yeah, the other one that came out when you were born was I Saw God Today. Mm-hmm. And that probably has more meaning for me than for you, but the guy takes a break and comes back and he sees this beautiful little girl. And every time I think about looking at you and seeing you fearfully and wonderfully made with all the gifts God has given you and your passion and your perseverance and your grit and your wisdom and your creativity and your curiosity and your love and your joy. You have such a great sense of humor, and it's been such a great joy being your father. And I can't wait to see what God has in store for you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.